So 21-year-old musician David, also known as his government name David Burt, has been arrested and charged with the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So on Thursday, April 16th, around 4:30 p.m., David was arrested in the Hollywood Hills. Then on Monday, April 20th, he was charged with first-degree murder, including special circumstances allegations and other charges. He also faces 1 count each of continuous sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14 and unlawful mutilation of human remains. The special circumstances allegations, which can increase to penalties at sentencing, including lying in wait, murder for financial gain, murdering a witness, an investigation, and an allegation that Burke personally used a deadly and dangerous weapon, a sharp instrument, to commit the crime. And then if David does get convicted, if he does get found guilty of the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, he could face life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. David made his court appearance on Monday, and he didn't speak during his court appearance, but his attorney put in a not guilty plea on his behalf. For those of you who don't know, last September, on September 8th, 2025, one day after what Celeste Rivas Hernandez would have been 15 years old, her body was unfortunately found inside of a trunk of an impounded Tesla, and this Tesla was registered to David. Her body was very decomposed, and around the time that her body was found, David was on a world tour. Even though David was on a world tour at this time, he was cooperating with law enforcement regarding the investigation. So this case has caused shockwaves all over the internet, and it didn't take the internet long enough to find evidence that David was romantically involved with this minor, from the Discord chats to footage of them on live together. But also people are hinting and suggesting that some of the songs that David has made has been about Celeste and their relationship. A lot of people are criticizing law enforcement regarding how long it took for them to arrest and charge David. There are a multitude of reasons as to why the investigation felt delayed. When Hernandez's body was found, it was decomposed. And when a body is decomposed, a lot of valuable and essential evidence is gone, basically. It's deteriorated. That now law enforcement, they have to actively and comb through as much evidence as they can get and gather. And then another factor is the amount of charges that they put onto David. With those type of charges, especially if death penalty is on the table, they have to definitely make sure that they're on their P's and Q's and make sure whatever evidence that they have is airtight and enough to put him away. And then not only that, but there was a grand jury, so that way they can get witnesses for their trial. And with the grand jury, you're under oath, you lie under oath, you get charged with perjury. So it's a way for witnesses to have to come out and essentially testify at this grand jury, so that way when it comes to trial, they can't change their story. But that is what I want to touch on and report to you all today. Check me out on all my other social media platforms.